Have you ever noticed, the more you chase something, love, success, attention, the more it seems to slip away? What if I told you that true attraction begins the moment you stop chasing it? In today's video, we're diving deep into the concept of effortless attraction and why pulling back might be the key to drawing everything you want straight to you. Segment 1. The more you chase, the further it runs. Let's start with a simple but powerful truth. The more you chase something, the further it tends to run away from you. Have you ever found yourself constantly striving for love, success, or validation? Maybe you're always chasing a relationship that seems just out of reach, or pushing yourself harder and harder at work, hoping for that promotion or recognition. It's like the more you try, the further it slips away. So why does this happen? It's because attraction doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to presence. What do I mean by that? Think about it this way. When you're chasing something desperately, it's as if you're sending out an energy that says, I'm not enough as I am. I need something outside of myself to complete me. This energy, this vibe, doesn't attract what you want. In fact, it has the opposite effect. It pushes people, opportunities, and success away. Let's take a moment and think about the people who seem to attract love, respect, or success effortlessly. What is it about them? They don't seem to be chasing anything. They are simply present in the moment, confident in who they are, and radiate an energy that draws things to them without forcing it. They've learned that attraction doesn't come from chasing. It comes from being comfortable in your own skin and allowing things to flow naturally. The more you chase, the more you reinforce that something is missing in your life. And when you act from a place of lack, you're not creating the right conditions for what you want to come into your life. Segment 2. Chasing comes from lack. Now, let's dig a little deeper. Why do we chase things in the first place? Most of the time, it comes from a place of feeling incomplete. You believe that if you get that perfect relationship, that dream job, that financial freedom, then you'll finally be happy. You think that one thing will fill the gap and make everything perfect. But here's the catch. Nothing external can fix an internal void. No matter how many things you chase or how many goals you achieve, you'll never feel truly complete unless you first work on filling that void within yourself. The idea that something outside of you will make you whole is an illusion. In reality, chasing things out of this need for external validation or fulfillment just leads to more chasing and more disappointment. And the longer you chase, the longer you'll feel incomplete. What if, instead of looking for something outside of yourself to make you feel better, you focused on becoming whole within yourself? Imagine what would happen if you stopped chasing and started focusing on developing your own inner peace, confidence, and self-worth. What if you worked on feeling complete and content, no matter what was happening outside of you? When you do this, something incredible happens. You stop chasing and start attracting. You become magnetic, not because you're desperate, but because you're aligned with who you truly are. And when you stop chasing, things tend to come to you naturally. Segment 3. Energy speaks louder than words. All right, let's talk about the power of energy. You've probably heard the saying, energy speaks louder than words. But have you ever really stopped to think about what that means? What I mean is that people can sense your energy before you even speak. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt someone's vibe without them saying a word? Maybe you felt a person's confidence, or perhaps their anxiety or neediness, just by being in the same space as them. That's the power of energy. Here's the thing, people can feel when you're needy, even if you don't say a word. When you're desperate for approval or attention, that energy is noticed. And guess what? That energy repels people. It makes others uncomfortable or put off, and that's not what you want when you're trying to attract positive people or opportunities into your life. On the flip side, calm, confident energy naturally draws people in. When you exude self-assurance, you're not trying to prove anything to anyone. You're not seeking validation. You're simply comfortable with who you are, and that is magnetic. People are attracted to that authenticity because it shows strength and self-worth. So what does that mean for you? It means that when you stop chasing validation or trying to impress others, your energy will shift. You'll begin to radiate confidence and peace, and people will naturally be drawn to you. You won't have to work hard at it. Your presence will do all the work. Segment 4. Stop seeking validation. Now, let's dive into something that's closely tied to energy. Stopping the need to seek validation. How many times have you found yourself needing someone else to tell you that you're doing a good job, or that you're worthy of love or success? The need for validation often leads us to overextend ourselves, changing who we are, saying yes when we want to say no, or constantly seeking approval just to feel good enough. And here's the catch. The more you seek validation from others, the less you validate yourself. You're giving away your power, waiting for someone to tell you that you're worthy or enough. But here's the truth. True attraction begins when you validate yourself. When you no longer wait for others to tell you your worth, and instead you recognize it for yourself, that's when everything changes. You stop giving away your power. You stop worrying about what others think. You know you're enough, just as you are. When you stop seeking validation, you stop overextending and trying to please everyone around you. You stop pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, you start showing up as your true, authentic self. And that's when the right people and opportunities will start coming into your life. Authenticity is what attracts the right people. Remember, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. When you validate yourself, you don't need approval to feel worthy. You simply are worthy. And the more you believe that, the more your life will reflect it. Segment 5. Focus on your own growth. Let's talk about something that can truly change the way you attract people and opportunities into your life. Focusing on your own growth. The more you invest in yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, the more naturally magnetic you become. So often, we think that we need to chase after success, relationships, or external validation. But here's the secret. When you focus on improving yourself, you naturally draw those things to you. You don't need to chase after them. They'll come to you when you become the best version of yourself. This is about focusing on your growth in all areas of life. Physically, taking care of your body, staying active, eating well. Mentally, feeding your mind with knowledge, reading, learning, challenging yourself. And emotionally, healing, growing, and creating a life where you feel at peace with who you are. The more you invest in your own development, the more magnetic you become. You don't have to beg for attention, chase success, or force things to happen. When you work on yourself, you become the kind of person others are naturally drawn to. You become the one worth attracting. People are attracted to those who are constantly growing, evolving, and improving themselves, not because they need anything from anyone, but because they are already enough. So, focus on your growth, not just to impress others, but because you deserve it. The more you invest in yourself, the more you'll find that everything else falls into place. Segment 6. Confidence is quiet. Now let's dive into the power of quiet confidence. Confidence is something we all want, but many people mistake it for something loud or flashy. Real confidence, it's quiet. Think about the most confident people you know. Are they the ones constantly bragging, needing attention, or proving themselves? To others? Probably not. True confidence doesn't need to make a big noise. It doesn't need to be announced. It just is. Real confidence is about being comfortable in your own skin. It's knowing who you are, understanding your worth, and not needing external validation to feel secure. The people who are truly confident don't have to prove anything because their confidence comes from within. They show up as their true selves, and that quiet assurance is what makes them magnetic. This kind of confidence doesn't come from being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about being secure in who you are, flaws and all. When you're confident, you don't need to chase attention. You simply attract it without trying. People are drawn to that calm, grounded energy. So remember, confidence isn't loud. It doesn't need to scream for attention. It simply is. And when you embrace your own quiet confidence, you'll find that you become the most attractive version of yourself. Segment 7. Let people come to you. All right. Let's talk about one of the most powerful concepts in life, letting people come to you. How often do we find ourselves chasing after people, whether it's in relationships, friendships, or even professional opportunities? We put in the effort, we try to force connections, and we sometimes bend over backward to make sure people notice us. But here's the truth. When you're constantly chasing, you're actually pushing people away. The real secret is to give people space. Let them choose you freely. People are drawn to what feels natural and effortless, not something that feels forced or controlled. When you stop trying to control outcomes, the right people and opportunities will flow in naturally, and often in ways you never expected. By stepping back and allowing people to come to you, you're giving them the chance to choose you for who you really are. Not because you're chasing them, but because they genuinely want to be around you. It's a subtle but powerful shift. When you stop pushing, you create space for the right connections to form organically. So let people come to you. Trust that the right people, the right opportunities will show up when you're not forcing them to. It's about trusting the process and being comfortable with the fact that things will unfold when the time is right. Segment 8. Stillness is magnetic. Now, let's dive into the concept of stillness. In today's fast-paced, chaotic world, there's something incredibly powerful about calm, grounded energy. Stillness is magnetic. What do I mean by stillness? It's not about inaction. It's about presence. It's about being so at peace with who you are that you don't feel the need to constantly do, talk, or chase. It's a quiet strength that comes from being comfortable in your own skin and remaining calm, no matter what's going on around you. People who are truly grounded in stillness radiate a certain peace that others can't help but be drawn to. In a world filled with noise and distraction, calmness is a rare and beautiful quality. And here's the thing. Stillness doesn't mean you're inactive or passive. It means you are fully present. You're in tune with yourself in the moment, and that energy is magnetic. When you cultivate this stillness, you become like a rock in a storm, unshaken, steady, and at peace. That's what draws people in. The calm, grounded energy you carry creates a safe space for others to relax and be themselves. In a world that's always moving, being still is one of the most powerful things you can do. Segment 9. Attraction is about alignment, not effort. Let's talk about a powerful shift in mindset when it comes to attraction. It's not about working harder to attract what you want. It's about aligning with who you are, what you value, and what truly matters. So many people believe that they need to work endlessly, chase after success, or constantly try to impress others in order to attract what they want. But here's the truth. Attraction isn't about effort. It's about alignment. When you align with your true self, the right people and opportunities naturally come to you. Think about it. When you're living authentically, being true to your values, and focusing on what really matters to you, things just fall into place. You don't have to force it. When you're in alignment with yourself, you naturally attract things that resonate with who you are. This means you need to spend less time trying to force attraction or make things happen, and more time focusing on being the best, most aligned version of yourself. When you're aligned with your purpose, your energy, your passions, and your values, everything else follows. Attraction flows effortlessly. So, stop working harder to attract. Instead, work on aligning with who you truly are and let the rest come naturally. Segment 10, let go of control. Now, let's dive into another key concept when it comes to attraction. Letting go of control. We all like to feel in control. We want to plan everything, make things happen, and control outcomes. But the truth is, you can't force connection. You can't force chemistry. You can't force relationships or success into being. When you try to control every aspect of your life, you create resistance. You're constantly pushing, forcing, and striving. But here's the real magic. When you surrender control, you stop chasing. You stop trying to force things into place, and instead, you allow things to unfold as they're meant to. Letting go of control means you trust the process. You trust that the right people, opportunities, and experiences will come to you when the time is right. You stop trying to manipulate or force outcomes, and instead, you allow life to flow naturally. When you surrender and stop chasing, you'll start noticing that things begin to shift in ways you never expected. It's in this space of surrender that things truly begin to align. When you stop controlling, you create space for things to come to you. That's when the right relationships form, the right opportunities show up, and everything clicks into place. Segment 11. Set standards, not expectations. Let's dive into a powerful mindset shift that can change how you attract people and opportunities. Set standards, not expectations. Now, what's the difference? Expectations are often rooted in a sense of entitlement. You expect certain things from others based on what you feel you deserve. And when those expectations aren't met, it can lead to disappointment, frustration, or even resentment. But standards are rooted in self-worth. When you set standards, you're not demanding things from others. You're showing what you expect for yourself. Standards reflect how you value yourself and how you expect others to treat you, not because you're entitled, but because you know you're worthy of respect, kindness, and love. When you live by strong standards, you don't need to chase after validation, love, or attention. You don't have to settle. Instead, you naturally attract people who rise to meet those standards. You draw in individuals who match your level of self-respect and treat you accordingly. So, stop placing your happiness or self-worth in other people's hands. Set clear standards for how you expect to be treated and let the right people come to you. The more you respect yourself and hold to your standards, the more you'll attract those who resonate with your energy. Segment 12. Rejection is redirection. Next up, let's talk about rejection. It's something everyone faces, but it doesn't have to feel like a loss. In fact, rejection is redirection. Not everyone will be drawn to you, and not everyone you meet will be the right fit for your life. And that's okay. When we face rejection, it's easy to get discouraged or think that we've failed. But rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply the universe guiding you in a new direction. What's meant for you won't need to be chased. If something or someone isn't aligning with you, that's a sign to let go and trust that something better is coming. Rejection redirects your path, helping you move closer to what truly belongs in your life. So instead of seeing rejection as a setback, view it as an opportunity. It's not the end of the road. It's just a detour, guiding you towards something that's a better fit for you. Trust the process, and remember that the right people and opportunities will never require you to chase after them. Segment 13. Become what you seek. Finally, let's talk about the concept of becoming what you seek. This is one of the most powerful and transformative ideas when it comes to attraction. You attract what you are. Think about it. If you want love, you need to be loving. If you want respect, You have to respect yourself first. If you want calm, create that inner peace within yourself. The external world is simply a reflection of what's happening inside you. If you're looking for respect, show respect to yourself and others. If you want deeper connections, become someone who values authentic connections. If you're searching for peace, create it in your own life. The more you embody the qualities you desire in others, the more they'll show up in your life. The external world follows the internal. When you cultivate the qualities you're seeking within yourself, you naturally attract those things into your reality. So, stop searching outside for what you want. Focus on becoming the person you need to be to attract those experiences and relationships. If this message resonated with you, give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're on a journey to becoming your most authentic, confident self, subscribe. We're just getting started.